Okay. Hi guys. Resume lesson video 2. Reminder before I dive back in that this is not a grade. It is not a remote learning opportunity. This is literally just for you. I'm happy to help you build your resume so you can start applying for jobs with it, but you don't have to by any means. So this is just kind of for fun, helpful extra. So I'm going to put myself back in the corner and go back here, picking up where we left off. Here we go. I was just here where you've got your heading and then your bullet points are going to be your responsibilities or like what you did, what you're responsible for, what your job entailed, starting with that past tense verb. Remember back at the beginning of the year, we talked about parallel structure where the grammar of sentences was the same. That's what we want to see here. Starting with that past tense verb, that makes our bullet points parallel, which looks professional and it looks very clear. So this is where you can reference that fourth page and you can find some of those power verbs. So I've got waited, provided, took, monitored, prepared, planned, served, assisted, organized. Like there's a lot of words. These aren't even the best ones, I'll tell you that. I did this example very quickly trying to come up with it so I can make this video. So check out, take some time editing when you've done this. Look at all these power verbs: acquired, cataloged, transacted, collected. Like there's some pretty good words down there. Feel free to use those verbs to make yourself sound impressive because you are, and any employer would be lucky to have you. So that's what we're trying to convince them of here. All right, so um, you'll notice I then put a space between this work experience and this one. If I were to come to a point where I was running out of room, I could definitely get rid of this space if I wanted to. Just be sure that everything's consistent. So if you get rid of spaces in work, then you need to get rid of the spaces everywhere. I liked those spaces. I thought that it kind of made it look nice and clear and so up to you, totally up to you. Again, there's not one right way to do this. You just need to keep things consistent. All right, so then I went on to extracurricular activities, and even though this is not work experience, I use the same formatting. So my heading, extracurricular activities, is the same as my work experience heading. They're both all in caps, they're bolded, the font doesn't change size, and the font doesn't change. So I'm still using Arial size 10. And then, okay, if you were in student government, here you go. Student government, you were a class representative, or maybe you were class president, class vice president. Then you're going to put the years that you did that from. So if you only did it for 1 year, you could put 2017 to 2018. That's fine. Put whatever years you were involved. See how I put all my years in italics? I put it up here and then all the way down here, keeping things very consistent. And then again, you want to talk about your responsibilities. So what were your responsibilities in this extracurricular activity? Start with that past tense verb and try to use those strong power verbs. I think those are really awesome. And again, ending in periods every time. That is a good thing to look for when you are editing. Then I've got my space and I put a different extracurricular activity. When it comes to bullet points, 3 is a really good number. You can aim for 2 to 4. If you're going to go beyond 4, that seems a little bit too much. And if you only have 1 bullet point, I think you could give a little more. These bullet points are great. They really show what you already have experience doing, what you're confident in. So an employer is going to really appreciate being able to see those things about you. So extracurricular activities, same idea all the way through, keeping things consistent with where you've got your colon, where you've got your parentheses, keep it consistent. Then I put community service on here, same idea. I put the organization, I put the city and the state, what my role would have been and what year it was, and then my bullet points. One point that I haven't made, as you are doing this, you want to organize your roles, so the different jobs you've had or the different extracurricular activities you've done, the different awards you've received. You want to put the one that is most recent first. So when it came to work experience, I put the job that I'd had since June of 2019 to today. So if you're still working there, great. Then this one I had 2018 to 2020. But this one was more relevant. It was more recent. So here, this is 2017 to 2020, so that one's going on still. This one's going on still. This one is as well. If they're all kind of like that, so I guess maybe I should have, let's say this one ended that year. If you have a couple that you did at the same time, so you've been a class representative all through high school, you've also been on the basketball team all through high school, put the one that you think is most relevant and important and could help you get this job first. So if I'm looking at, okay, I was a class representative in student government, and then I was also on the basketball team, and the job I'm applying for has something to do with being organized. Maybe it's sales or a secretarial job. Then I'm going to put that one first. And if I had one that was more about, maybe it was like a summer job coaching, maybe you had a position like that, then I'd probably want to put basketball first because that one's more important. When employers look at these resumes, they often do it very quickly. If they had a lot of people apply for the job, they're going to be looking, okay, I need an excuse to throw this resume away. So they're going to be looking for mistakes. They might not read every single word on the resume, so they might be looking for highlights. So putting the things that are most relevant first is usually a good idea too. So you're going to go by the date and then maybe the relevancy. So again, if my job was for a coaching position, I'd want to put basketball first under extracurricular activities. So totally up to you though. Here we go. We did this. Skills and certification, that's the last one that I haven't talked about. Ooh, I should have said in the collection. There you go. Edit it for you. You all have skills and certifications. You don't need to include it though if you have a lot of extracurricular experience or you have a lot of work experience and you run out of room. That's fine. You don't need it. Proficient in Microsoft Word and Google Drive applications. If you are not actually proficient in those, so if you struggle with Google Docs, do not put that. But a lot of you probably are. If you're good at navigating through these different applications, you could do a Google Slides presentation. You can do Google Docs without a lot of direction, then feel free to put that there. If you only know Google Drive applications, so you've never really done much in Microsoft Excel, don't put that. Effective in social media outreach. So if you, this one, a lot of you probably are. If you know how to use social media and you can communicate in positive ways with social media, that might be one that you guys could put down. You might even want to say effective in social media navigation. Maybe you're good at navigating social media. Those are two that a lot of you might be able to put down. And then the last one is first aid CPR certified. I know a lot of you are first aid CPR certified. If you are, feel free to put when it expires. That's totally fine there. So, whoops. For some reason that was not quite right. Okay. So that is essentially what your resume is going to look like. This is why. For some reason my formatting was off. There we go. Okay. So that's kind of what you're trying to create. You can use the sample outline if you want. You can just copy and paste and insert things where it says to put things. And then be sure that you're checking the power verbs. One thing that I almost forgot, right here, under education. When you put your education, your GPA, so if you put Zeeland East High School and then you've got a semicolon, you got your GPA. If your GPA is below a 3.0, maybe just leave it off. If you are not very proud of your GPA, you do not need it on here. Putting your GPA on here is just trying to show like how great you are. In high school, I had like a 3.96. We didn't have weighted GPAs. I had to take AP classes. Don't come at me. But it was a pretty good GPA, and so I wanted colleges and jobs to know that, so I did put my GPA on there. In college, however, I went to a very difficult school, and so I had like a 3.2, which is not bad and actually is really good for the school I went to, right? Like B's were awesome. But I wasn't super proud of it. I didn't think it showed that it didn't show how smart I thought I was, so I did not include it. totally fine. You do not need it on your resume. It is up to you. If you are proud of your GPA, please put it on there. And if you're not, then that's totally fine. Or if you don't care, you can just leave it off. That's fine as well. All right, so that's how you create it. Hopefully that makes sense as far as like a walkthrough of the document that I'm including with this. This is not an assignment. It is just me offering my experience in teaching resumes to hopefully help you be able to create a resume. If you need help on it, if you want feedback, please send it to me. But yeah, that's all that I have to show you there. So that's how you write a resume. Hopefully it helps you out and you can get a great job with it. Okay, guys, I will see you in a different video. See ya.